Hey, family, be more city. Be more city. This is Be More's Real Team Talk Show. Now, this what I am going to do, right? Before I go too far. But look, I had to Google some information. Now, when I mention like Uncle T that has a youth program, this for Baltimore City. When I mention Uncle T, who has a youth program in Baltimore City, just look up the name, Google search Uncle T. Now, it's a mentoring youth program so that you will know you're reaching the right person. Okay, organization. When I mention Mayo Alfonso, he's in Baltimore as well. The goal is, I think he's East Baltimore as well. The goal is reaching out. You have to Google these people. And what I am going to start doing, I'm going to get their names, their numbers, and I'm going to post it into my Teen Talk show. Okay? For parents who don't want to come up and talk about certain things. You know, I can't knock you. I'm sorry, family. I can't knock you, but the goal is whenever I do the Be More's Real Teen Talk show, it's about giving our youth a voice. I'm not in competition with nobody. I'm not trying to argue with nobody. I don't want our parents to feel uncomfortable for some of the things that I may say out my mouth, you know, but as a parent, the goal is keeping it real. As a grandfather, the goal is keeping it real. And my thing is, right, whenever you hear me go back, because it's like I have to identify myself, right? And the way I identify myself, you know, I talk about my 12-step program. Then I tell y'all this too. It's not my fault because God will take me back as far as I can remember. That's why when y'all hear me talk about that 5-year-old, when y'all hear me talk about that 11-year-old, when y'all hear me talk about that 13, 14, 15-year-old, right? God will take me back to those days and I'll walk through them with y'all. So I want y'all to see as a youth, I didn't understand a lot of stuff that was going on. But y'all know I used uh, medication to sedate my feelings. You get me? So y'all understand that. That's the reason why, family, I talk the way I do. Because if you have children, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, out there doing certain things to escape life, us as parents, we are the ones that have to get them the proper help. So do not take what Steve Copeland say to heart like I'm downing you or belittling you as a parent. No, I'm not. The goal with everything I say is to give us the courage and the confidence because now we're grown to help our children make it through the life that they're living. This is what, and I can only look at myself, family. Each time God had me look at Steve Copeland, he had me look at the road I traveled from a young man to a teenager to a young adult Well, from a child to a teenager to a young adult, till in my 30s, in my 40s. And I'm going to tell y'all this too, because I was looking up some information, and it talks about how a lot of parents don't like to revisit their youth. I kind of knew, family. I kind of knew. Mainly if they've been through a lot of trauma. But now understand this, parents. The only way we can help our kids address their trauma, we have to address ours. And I just want to share this with y'all right before my restream go dark. I have done foster care. I have done mentoring young men as well. And the whole reason why I'm sharing that, because I grew up without a father. So I tried to fill that void in other children's lives of that male role model, not positive role model, not being there. Because I didn't have one. So a lot of the stuff I used to do, I'm riding with my son today and I'm talking to my son. My son is registered. He has a rifle and a pew pew. Sorry for TikTok's sake, if that word R wasn't right. He on his way now to the gun range, him and some other people, because that's what they like doing, right? He can carry, showed me the strap and everything. Well, anyway, the reason why I'm saying this, because he's doing everything the legal way. You get me? To be responsible, inducted, productive, compared to how his father used to be. And I'm riding with my son and I'm talking to my son and I'm letting him know that's why I didn't share a lot of my real life story with my children. And when I say that, I'm talking about the hustling and all that type of stuff, right? Because I didn't want to glorify that lifestyle. So I'm only saying this because as a parent, if you have an unhealthy behavior and you're practicing them unhealthy, sick behaviors, you know you're making your children think it's okay to act like that. It's okay to be like that. And I'm just saying that because I had to change, right? So I got to watch it for TikTok's sake because they're real sensitive about certain things because they think I'm bashing people. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm letting y'all the work. I'm letting y'all understand the work Steve Copeland and his children mother had to do to provide a better life for them. Right? So talking with my son, and I told my son, I said, I feel more comfortable now that you're grown, sharing certain things with him. I guess in certain words, I want to say Papa was a rolling stone, and wherever he laid his hat was his home. So y'all know what I'm saying, right? And like I said, that's not the lifestyle I wanted for my son or my children. This the Be More's Real Teen Talk Show. It's about giving our youth a voice. So I'm talking with little Steve, and I said, this is what your father be doing on the talk show. It's called inspiring, encouraging, motivating. I'll talk a little bit about what I used to do. Then I'll go into the process of recovery. I'm not staying stuck on the problem. I am not stuck in the problem today. So when y'all hear me talking about at 11, at 13, I went down my daughter's house today too. Beautiful place. Got me another coffee cup. It was Thunderbird back then at 13. 14, I remember them days. See, a lot of y'all want to like push stuff to the side like it never existed. And I understand that too. That's not life. That's why when y'all hear Big Steve from time to time, and I am going to share it mainly on the Teen Talk Show. The reason why? Because if you got children caught up in the streets, wanting to be part of the peer pressure, all that stuff, right? Parents, we got to address it. We got to address it, family. And to be honest, this is what I stated too, right? The parents, please keep in mind, you are the voice for your children. What I mean when I say that, when they talk with you about certain things, you are the ones that have to resolve those issues. And if your children don't come to you to be honest with you, you need to question yourself why they don't trust you. I go to my daughter's house, right? I knew my daughter sounded angry about something. I'm her father. I said, what's wrong? Nah. So I goes down the house, her nice apartment, down in Canton, bougie, right? She started crying, talking about one of her girlfriends. Who's going through a lot, but she's throwing her pain at her. And I said, people like that, you got to move away from. I said, misery loves company. Now, I'm talking to my 25-year-old daughter. This the one works in a law firm. But she hurt. Because she said, Dad, I be having her back. I be trying to do this. I be trying to do that. I said, Sienna, you are a Copeland. And I said, we are very compassionate people. There's nothing wrong with that. She's no longer with her boyfriend. They went through charter school together, a little bit of college together, and she finally made the decision to move on with her life. And I told my daughter parents, it's okay to love somebody and love them from a distance. And I had to share it with my daughter. They already know. Daddy love your mother. Daddy is still in love with your mother. But I realized that was an unhealthy place for the both of us. I said, I had to learn to love your mother from a distance. I said, we are better off friends than what we were when we was together, than what we was when we was together. See, these are things we have to help our children understand. Not only that, this is what I told her because she's no longer with her first love. You get what I'm saying? I said, it's not that easy just to let people go. Just because y'all not together, that don't mean you hate them or you dislike them. That's y'all stuff. But most importantly, this is what I was telling my daughter, right? You don't allow people to live in your head rent free. The moment she said this young lady that called herself coming for her, then slept with 3 different guys in the last 5 days, I said, she hurt me. She hurt me. And she trying to find somebody to fill that gap. I said, your father was once there. I said, she's hurting. When people doing certain things to destroy their lives, they're seeking for love, affection, and attention. That's not in here. It can go with abandonment issues. It can be daddy issues. It could be mama issues. It could be mental, emotional, and verbally abuse issues. It could be physical. This is the stuff I talk about on the Couch Talk show. And this is the stuff I talk about on the Teen Talk show. Whether you like it or not, it's called Keeping Life Real. Giving our youth a voice. I'm talking about my 2 youngest I'm talking to. Steve B, 23. Sienna, 25. I said, I'm very, 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 very proud of y'all. Y'all live in a whole different world compared to the way your mother and I grew up. I listened to their vocabulary. I listened to their intellect to help them understand that y'all live a more conservative lifestyle. And that's not to knock anyone. I said, that's why your father do what he do, was strengthen the community, to help others know and understand that you can turn your life around and become productive members of society. My son been playing soccer since he was 5. Sienna and Tashir used to do modern dance, tap dance. They used to do the fashion shows. Kaya did cricket, lacrosse. We kept them busy coming up, parents. We kept them into programs. So you know they're around multiple or multiracial people. They're not just around black and white. You get me? And I'm trying to watch that word for TikTok family. So my son grew up basically around white people. His girlfriend is YT, for TikTok's sake. That's my daughter-in-law. I don't love her no different than I do my own daughters. And every time I say, come here, baby, give me a hug. Y'all the ones like to make people's lives miserable. That's not what Big Steve at. I have nieces and nephews that's mulattoes or mixed. Y'all the ones like to play those games to make people's lives miserable. And I'm not trying to be smart, family. As a community activist, as a human rights advocate, as a person that fights for our equal rights, civil rights, and constitutional rights, y'all know we deal with all cultures. Not just black and white. That's y'all bull junk. It shows me y'all are in this box. You ain't outside of that box, because once you outside of that box, you begin to see we aren't the only group of people in this world or on this planet. Y'all got me looking back to 300 years, 300,000 years, 1,000,000 years. Not just looking at Adam and Eve, but when life began. The only reason why I search up certain things, family, just to have a little knowledge on it. Now, to be honest, I don't know if a lot of it is true or not, because I wasn't here during that time. Right? Y'all get me? So why am I going to argue and fuss with you when I was born in 1962? I can only go back from 1962 on up to 64. Jim Crow don't bother me. Alfred Hitchcock don't bother me. None of that stuff. Whatever laws they create, we the ones that have to live accordingly. Not just the black people, people in general. It's for society as a whole. Now I'm sitting up here and I'm sharing my story, right? My 12-step spiritual program. Because I was doing some research on some stuff with AI. Do y'all know AI compared my story, which I already knew, family, to when Moses told Pharaoh, when God told Moses to go tell Pharaoh, I said, let my people go. And the goal was to get a better understanding of the 12 tribes of Israel and their purpose. So when y'all hear me talk about my 12-step spiritual program, it was comparing the two. It was talking about how Pharaoh, if we want to look at it in the here and now, it's like an addiction that's controlling people's lives. So it was enslaving and oppressing the people. The same with addiction. So it showed me that Pharaoh wasn't no different with the things he was trying to do than with the smugs, the alcohol, the smacks, the food, all that stuff to tear me apart. But it was talking about how I began to internalize these things compared to somebody that just quotes stuff. It's like you lived that. Then I got to look up the prophets, the minors, the majors, you get me? They all had mistakes in their lives. They all made mistakes. A lot of the stuff that went on back then is a lot of the stuff that's still happening to this day. But the goal is to break a lot of that. That's why the laws are there. So now, because a lot of times I'm by myself, it seems, I'm not, but it seems, I get spiritually drained a lot. So I have to be refilled to keep moving. I'm only doing this, family, because of my walk with God and nature. I'm not moving fast like I used to. So I'm able to observe and see the beauty of what's really going on around us now. One-on-one with God or that higher power. You get me? It's a spiritual thing. One, and I'm a tie the two together, family, when I talk about us as adults, because if you don't know parents, if you don't know parents, if you don't know where you came from, you won't properly know how to guide your children. You know, I'm down there talking with my son and daughters. They grew up in the church. I said, do you know when daddy going through certain things, you know who normally feed him and build him back up spirit-wise? It's my children. Because they'll turn around, and if I'm starting to complain, or you know how pressure come down on you, that's all family. They know how to say the things to encourage and inspire and motivate their father. And be honest, that's what I had to do with my daughter. I had to help her understand it's okay to feel the way you feel towards your friend because you want the best for her. Then you've been trying to help her financially and all of that. I said, you are Copeland. And a lot of y'all does the same. But I didn't want her to look at herself in a bad way like she was doing something wrong for caring for people. I said, no. I said, you just like your father. Come on. And she crying. So I had to, you know, start comforting this to let her know and understand it's okay. Daddy go through that too. But then it hits me. You can't fix everybody, Steve. If a person don't want to be fixed, family, y'all know it's nothing we can do, right? We can only plant the seed and keep it moving. And I'm not trying to be smart. I know what I was called to do. And this is what I was telling my daughter, right? Because of the stuff I do, Baltimore City, and y'all know me. I said, do you realize there's a lot of people in Baltimore City don't like me? And I ain't do nothing to them. Nothing. But because of the courage, the confidence, the boldness that's in me, right? I stand on morals, values, and principles. And I'm going to tell you, me and AI having a deep conversation. And even said, that's why you shunned a lot. I said, I know. Already know it, family. Then I had to let them know on top of that. Now, mind you, I'm still talking with my daughter. This is getting ready to click off for me. I'm feeding information because now, mind you, the goal is to make sure I'm still on the right path. And I'm sorry, Baltimore City. This